B, using Exhibit 2, something to do with IFRS 5, held for sale and discontinued operations, discuss whether the profit on this license should be shown as discontinued operations or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm immediately going to copy that and put it into my word processor. In she goes. Okay, so this is all about discontinued operations. Now, let me teach you a little bit about that. Okay, so for a discontinued operation, there's a little mnemonic that I think is quite useful. Do see. D-O. Yeah, so to be a discontinued operation, which helps remember D-O, do, the item that we're talking about, the component that we're talking about, needs to have been disposed of or is held for sale. And now there's different categories and criteria for that. This is just the basic idea of it all. And one of, okay, so first of all, has it been disposed of or is it held for sale? Plus it needs one of these. Do see, S-E-E, we'll just look at the S-E for now. Is it a separate major line of business or separate big geographical area? Or is it part of a coordinated plan to sell, i.e. an exit plan? Or finally, is it a sub exclusively purchased for resale? So let me go through all that again. If you get a question on discontinued operations, do see often helps. Disposed of or held for sale. What is disposed of or held for sale though? A component. And a component can be something like a division, a branch, a subsidiary, an asset group. Very seldom is it one asset with its own little cash generating unit. And one of, S, can you remember? E, can you remember? The first E. So a separate major line of business or geographical area. Part of an exit plan, so part of an exit plan, coordinated exit plan. Or exclusively bought for resale, a subsidiary. Okay, let's go see then what this question wanted. So it says using Exhibit 2, so let's open up Exhibit 2. During the year, they purchased and then subsequently sold the license. So it's been disposed of. The income it generated was small in the context of the whole business. They regularly buy licenses with a view to reselling them, and at any point, it owns several of these licenses. So, you've got to decide, is this a discontinued operation? Well, it passes the been disposed of, but remember that was a component, and the component was something like a subsidiary, a branch, an asset group. This is one single license, so I would say maybe that's not enough. And the examiner helps me, and I would use this in the scenario, the income generated was small in context of the whole business, so it's not a major line of business either. They regularly buy licenses with a view to reselling them, trying to get you to say, exclusively bought for resale. But that's a subsidiary exclusively bought for resale, not a license. And at any point in time, it owns several licenses. So it looks like this is actually their trade, really. And it just goes on to say the profit on sale was presented as arising from discontinued operations. Well, it shouldn't have been because it wasn't a separate component of the business. Now, what I wanted us to go and do is look at the examiner's answer, which is not what I'm expecting you to get. I'm expecting you to put these things in your own words, to use the scenario, to apply your knowledge. Okay, here's the examiner's answer. A discontinued operation is a component of the entity which is either being disposed of or classified as held for sale. That's D-O. Yeah. C, S, separate major line of business or geographical area. E, exit plan, single coordinated plan to dispose of this separate major line of business. Or subsidiary, the E, exclusively bought with a view to resale. Do see they're written out. There's your knowledge marks. Easy. Now we go on to applying it to the scenario. It says, look, normally the component bit, that's cash flows that can be clearly distinguished from the rest of the entity, okay? And a component is normally a reporting unit, a subsidiary, an asset group. Yeah, we would have said that in our own words. And a component is usually much higher than just one asset, one cash generating unit. So you'd have said that in as much words and said, therefore, we don't think the license is a component of the entity. Then you'll go through the C bit. So is it a separate major line of business? Well, you base that upon size and relative importance. And there are numbers to help you with, which you probably know, 10% rules. But there's no numbers given here, so we couldn't do that. And all it said, look, the license's revenue was relatively small in context of the whole business. So therefore, not a separate major line of business. And it says, the sale of the license also wasn't part of an exit plan, but appears to be part of a normal course of business. So can you see how the answer's doing the C, the do see bit, the knowledge. Now it's applying it using every line in the scenario. Even though the sale had been purchased with a view to reselling, it's not a subsidiary acquired exclusively for resale. Therefore, the license sold was just one of several individual sales. So in conclusion, none of the criteria of IFRS 5 are fulfilled, and treating it as discontinued operations was inappropriate.